Hey guys, welcome back to Whalen Wire's Old Iron. I'm really glad you all stopped by. And I wanted to mention one thing to you. You know, of all you people, all one, two, three, four, all of you guys, everybody, out of all you people who are watching this video right now, only 42% of you are subscribed to the channel. I just can't figure it out. If you wouldn't mind, it would help me a lot if you hit that subscribe button. Won't cost you anything, but does kind of help the channel out and keep me bringing these videos to you. So much appreciated. All right, let's get into it. See what's been going on around here. I do believe my pants are on fire. Looks like my chair's on fire. I believe my table's on fire. Oops! Hey, welcome to Rat Rodding. My name's Whalen Wire, and don't ever do what we do here on this channel. Okay, these are my 15-inch torpedo lights, they call them. Came off of a semi cab lights for a semi back when they were made out of real chrome. Now they're plastic. They're chrome coated plastic. But these are the real deal. And I've got some new lenses coming. I ordered a couple of those. This one's cracked and got a hole in it, and this one's burnt and cracked. So yeah, I've got a couple of those. They probably won't be as heavy duty as these either, but I think I had to get new ones for the Dojulac too. This is what I used on the Dojulac, only I had to recess them back into the fender. Here I was just gonna cut this out so that I could take those torpedo lights and then just recess them back into the fender, and that's what I ended up doing. In the mighty rush of into that lonesome hobo's call, you're traveling through the jungle on the Wabash Cannonball. They were just a clearance light in their previous life, but what I'm going to do is make signal lights out of them. Turn indicators and clearance lights. And I could just put a single post bulb in there and just have them single signal lights, but I want them to be running lights, clearance lights, you might call them, whatever, and turn signals. So I'm going to take this out and I'm going to hog that hole out big enough to take this. So that snaps in from the back, and then that bolts on, and yeah, I'm gonna make them into what I want them to be, and then they'll do that. Yeah, so I'm just out here getting a little bit of shop therapy. My daughter says that I'm a shopaholic, because whenever she calls, I'm either headed to the shop or just coming back from the shop, or I'm in the shop. There we be. Boy, it's some heavy metal. I used to build stuff to last, you know. Metal's cheap. Yeah. Good stuff. Keep the ground. I wonder why the white's a ground. That's odd to me. I would think that the black would be ground. Yeah, that's odd to me, but what do I know? At least they're not all red. If I were a scribe, where would I be? Lay on the table? Such a deal. Okay, that's about centered, and let's go from there to there, and to there, and about there. kind of guesstimate it to be about that big, and then cut it a little bit shy of that to start with and work my way out. Now, do I want to drill that or just use a burr? I think I'll try a drill first. I might have one that size. Boy, that's running awfully fast for a big drill. And oh, I wonder what she's doing tonight. I think that's gonna fit. With just the right amount of persuasion, the right kind of persuasion. Okay, I am about to mount these headlight buckets. It's got a little dent in it. I might be able to knock that out once I get to the inside of it. But these lenses are so special and so cool looking. I want you to look at how much curve there is to that, how much it protrudes out this way. It's very unique. I just love it. And you know, there's no replacements. You can't get these. This is original equipment for 1938 GMC, and this is made of a special material, a special type of glass, and it's made of a material called unobtainium. It cannot be obtained anywhere. So, because of that, I'm going to take these out while I'm messing with these, while I'm getting them mounted up and everything, and I'm probably going to leave them out until I'm all finished banging around on this thing in the shop, because I know me and you know me. Some of you guys have been around here for a long time, and that saying that I often use is about what could possibly go wrong. Well, this could possibly go wrong if I leave these in there. So I'm going to take these out. Am I having trouble with that? Oh, there we go. Okay. Yep. Yeah, I'm going to take these out, and I'm going to store them. I'm going to wrap them up in some bubble wrap, and I'm going to store them out in the greenhouse where they won't be disturbed and they won't be bumped into and knocked around here and there. I'll put them back in when I get, I'll leave them out for right now, because I'm going to put them back in when I get to get them all mounted up, just so you can see what they look like mounted, but then I'm going to take them out and for safekeeping. So we're going to just lay this right here, right now, and I'm going to wrap that up and put it somewhere. Look at that. You know, that's just how they did it back in the day. These are pretty cool. Cool old bulbs. GE. Says GE on it. Yeah, nice. That would be 6 volt. 1938. Not sure what this little guy is. What is this? Somebody tell me what this is. Is this a little parking light or a little, yeah, I don't know, kind of a little running light or something. Yeah. If there's anybody out there older than I am, which is doubtful that there's very many, but if there is such a thing, maybe you can tell me what the deal is with that little guy. Cute little fella, ain't it? That's kind of cool looking. All right, I'm going to put this lens away and get the other one up here and get it taken off as well. You know, strangely, that looks like Romex. That looks like house wiring, but I don't know. I guess that's something they used back in the old days. No, I don't want to strip that. I got to turn this a little bit, so I'm going to spray some Slickum Goody on there. That's my dad had a funny way of talking. He had a lot of funny little terms and sayings, and that's what he would say. If you were using some penetrating oil, he would call it Slickum Goody. I don't know why. He's a proud guy. I've got a picture I'll have to share with you guys sometime. Picture of him wearing a three-piece suit. And he was kind of well, no question, he was a redneck kind of guy. So what he was doing with the three-piece suit, I don't know, but I'm sure he traded. I'm sure he traded for it. He got it in a trade. He loved to trade. And I just stripped that off. So I'm sure I got a replacement for that. I got one that size, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, yeah, there's a picture of him in a three-piece suit. and I don't know where it came from, but I know what he did with it. He traded that three-piece suit for a mule. And the mule's name was Pete. And he farmed with old Pete for many, many years. When I was about maybe 5 or 6 years old, he got an old Ford 9N tractor or 8N tractor, something like that. I've got a picture of that mule, and I have a picture of myself on it, sitting on that mule when I was, I don't know, 2 or 3 years old. But when he'd get through plowing for the day, or working the mule for the day, well, he'd lead him down to the pond to get a drink of water. And, I mean, I'm sure he watered the mule throughout the day. That's not what I'm saying, but anyway, that was part of the ritual. He'd take him down to the pond. So my thing was I'd get to ride. I'd get to ride on him while he led him to the pond, and that was all fun, and I loved it, except for that part when that mule would put his head down to drink out of the pond. Man, to a little 3-year-old kid, it looked like a mile down that mule's neck, and that would scare me to death. I was afraid I was going to slide down that mule's neck into the water. Ain't that funny, the things you remember? Silly little things like that. All right, I'm going to take this up and put it away for safekeeping. 2330. And then it says 32C, 432C, and 6-8 volts. It's either 6 or 8 volt. That's pretty cool. You know, some of the old tractors, I think, used to be 8 volt. I know with a lot of the old 6 volt rigs, you could put a 8 volt battery in them and it'd spin them over a little better, but it wouldn't burn the bulbs out or anything. So yeah, that's a cool little piece. I don't need it, but I'll hang on to it. You know how I am. All right, I'm gonna finish getting this. Yeah, this one's pretty tight. I don't want to break that on my hand. That wouldn't be good. Well, the screw's finally coming out. Boy, it came hard all the way. But anyway, I can get a measurement on it and get the proper replacement. And I'll probably get a little tap. I got a little tap. I'll probably chase those threads and clean that up. They're kind of rusty. And I'm going to put a glove on and see if I can get that bulb out of there without breaking it. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I mean, what could possibly go wrong? Oh, that wasn't bad. It's burnt out. Alrighty then. I don't plan to be driving this thing at night, but in order to make it legal, I need to have lights on it. So yeah, I'm just gonna leave that little guy. Oh, I did earlier today. Was it this morning? Yeah, I think it was this morning. I put up a YouTube short on my YouTube channel. Now I was telling a friend of mine, I said, well, apparently my subscribers don't watch YouTube shorts because at a time, for the amount of time it had been posted, it should have had a couple thousand views, and it had a couple hundred. And he reminded me that it's Super Bowl Sunday. And I told him, well, I didn't think of that because I don't follow basketball. I don't have any more of those brand new bulb receptacles. I put them in here. I had 2 of them. I don't have any more. And I need to outfit these with a receptacle that will accept this type of bulb. I might have something out back. I need to take a walk back there and see what I've got. I'm pretty sure that I have something out there, but I just don't know if it's accessible, you know. And what I need is an accessible receptacle. Yeah, I'm gonna take a little walk back there. I know there's a Subaru back there, but I don't know if I can get into it or not. We'll see. Well, I went on a little trek out in the snow out back, and I came up with a couple of these guys. Now, Shavaholic sent me some information on what he's been using to convert those old 6-volt lights over to some 12-volt LEDs. And if I understood him right, those LEDs and the way they looked in the picture was that they would just plug right into a receptacle such as that. But I may have misunderstood. There may be something different about them. So before I go ahead and mount these permanent like in here, I think I'll wait till the bulbs get here. They'll be here in a couple days, and then I can find out if I understood him right or if I misunderstood and I need to do something different. So I'm going to just hold off on that for a little bit, but if that's correct, then I got them, man. I'm on my way. Well, lo and behold, I found me a screw to replace that one I broke, and it's the right thread pitch and all that, but I don't know if it's quite long enough. I think it is, because the one that broke had a lot of excess thread on this end. So I am going to give it a shot. Okay, when I get back here and eyeball this, I can tell that the driver's side bucket needs to go back up the hill just about 1/16 of an inch. So I'm going to get my burr out and I'm going to hog out that hole toward the back just a little bit, and then I'm going to put that back on there, because then it will be right. It was an itsy bitsy teeny weeny yeller polka dot bikini that she wore for the first time today. this up across there with those buckets, and that's about level right there, and the face of this exactly matches the face of those buckets, but then that leaves me about a 1-inch gap underneath this. Now, the Dozilac, what I did was I cut a hole in here and I recessed this back, but I don't think I'm going to do that this time. I think I'm going to mark that spot and drill this back hole and cinch it down, and then put a little spacer in here, because there's another way to do that. That would be to grind this material off here in the middle and give this a little deeper, a little more curvature. And I might do that. I'm out, but then again, I'm out. I don't know. I just don't know. I'd have to take off. You know, I'd have to take off 1 inch of material. I'd have to go really deep into this thing. And I don't think I want to do that for a couple of reasons. I don't want to take that much material out. It would take an awfully long time to do it, and it would take a lot of work to get it right. And I just don't think, I think a little chrome spacer underneath there, or a little piece of, you know, just a little piece of conduit or something to set that on, I think is going to be acceptable. Because there's this guy on YouTube, old boy down Mississippi, I believe he is, Mississippi, Louisiana, I think Mississippi. And what he says about things like this is, who cares, it's a rat rod. That's what he says about it. But I don't think I want to recess this. Yeah, I could do that again, but I kind of like the idea of having that whole big, gaudy, ridiculous 15-inch torpedo light hanging off the fender there. So, yeah, I'll just get that centered pretty much. And I'm going to eyeball it, center it, eyeball it, mark it, drill it, mount it. Yeah. I think that's what I'll do. I'll scribe it. I'll scribe around the end and measure back from the end to the hole. That's what I did on those lights. Once I scribed it and I measured back and drilled it, that seemed to work, so I think I'll try that again. Pretty well centered up this way. That looks pretty good. I'm gonna go come down to about here. You know, this camera's got full battery, and the card is almost empty, hardly anything on it, and all of a sudden it just shuts off. And every GoPro I've ever had does that. And you know, I don't know why, because it's not. I know they shut off when they overheat, but it might be 50 degrees in here, 55 maybe. It's certainly not hot enough for it to have it shut off, but it just does it every once in a while. And the only reason I put up with that is because the resolution is so stinking good. Man, it is so clear. If you're watching this in 1080, it's like you can just reach right through the screen and touch things. I mean, it's just fantabulous. So that's why I put up with it, but I'm sure there's other cameras out there that do just as good a job with just as good a resolution that don't shut off every once in a while when you're out in the middle of something. Or maybe you've got the camera set off over there on the tractor and you're doing something and it shuts off and you don't know it because a rig's running or something. So it's a real pain. I'm sure there's cameras out there that won't do that. It'll work great, good resolution, don't turn off. I don't know if I can afford one. So I just keep putting up with it. Anyway, I'm gonna quit whining about that. Go ahead and drill me a hole, and then I can measure out everything from there to where my wires come through, the front bolt, that sort of thing. I can ground it back under here somewhere. Yep. I think it's going to be kind of gaudy and ridiculous, and that's what I'm shooting for. Now, I will make that hole a little bit bigger, and I will put a rubber grommet in there. Beautiful, just beautiful. Well, I wish I had the headlights, the bulbs for those headlights. It's going to be so cool. Yep, I like it. And they're all lined up and everything. Wires running everywhere. Yeah, I just wanted to do a little demo. Just wanted to make sure that everything's working. And it is. So I got to take this out of here. I started to say I forgot to knock that little dent out, but on this thing, does it matter? Not really, but I will when I put the bulb in. I'm gonna take those lenses out though and put them away so they don't get broke, because I'll be slinging and banging things around in here, you know. That's how I roll. Okay, before I go, I wanted to address a couple of comments. Actually, I had a question about a couple of comments. One question, well, not question. One guy commented and said, he said you should always break the ground with your kill switch. And I asked him why, and he never did answer me. But I would genuinely like to know what the science is behind that. You know, if you guys, somebody wants to weigh in on that in the comments, I'd appreciate it. I'd really like to know. I'm just curious. I mean, in my mind, I thought, well, you'd probably want to break the power just as close as you could to the source. And in this case, it's from here to here, and bam, it's done. But, you know, I could break the ground. That's not an issue. I'm just curious as to why. I'm certainly not arguing about it.
I'm not arguing here. I'm cooperating.
You know, not at all, because I'm not a car builder. I'm not a mechanic. I don't know about these things. I'm just an old guy having fun banging around with this rusty old metal. Nothing less, nothing more. So please, somebody, if you know the answer to that, let me know. There was another comment too about the size of that wire, which is standard battery cable. You know, it's 4 gauge, and all the rest of my rigs around here have 4 gauge battery cables, and some of them, I don't know if they run any further from the battery to the starter, but they run certainly as far. And this is what it had on it. But he said, the guy's comment was that it would turn it over better if it had bigger gauge wire. Well, it had I think it had a bigger, maybe, well, I don't think it had a bigger wire, but the battery was mounted right here, so it had a foot. It just had about 1 foot to run from the battery to the starter, and it didn't turn over any different then than it does now. So I don't know, I thought 4 gauge was sufficient. You know, it's standard battery cable. And but you guys want to weigh in on that too in the comments. Yeah, I'd like to know. It seems like there was something else. Oh, I know what I was going to talk about. Well, it was overwhelmingly, when I asked the question, when I posed the question about what you guys thought about my idea for the exhaust pipes coming down like a funny car. You know, they come out of here and they come down and then kind of sweep up and swoop up, sweep up, whatever they do, and then have them all collected. It'd be you know, in a row right here. So I think that'd be kind of cool looking, and that's what I'm thinking. But there was a couple guys that, I mean, overwhelmingly people voted yes, that's the one, number one. There was no question about what the people thought about that. They were definitely in my camp on that. But there was a couple guys that was voting for stacks out the back, and I understand that. You know, that's certainly legitimate. And one guy commented, said, you know, remember, after all, it is a truck. You know, and he's right. He's absolutely right. And I know a couple of big old stacks, great big ones, coming up the back of the cab there would look pretty good, you know, no doubt, because it is a truck. Now, I've got something in mind for the rear end on this thing, and I'm not sure yet. I was thinking about putting an old time wrecker boom on there, you know, and a big boom and a big winch, and run the winch off of my my PTO, you know, some old school stuff. And I certainly would look like a truck, and it would be a truck. And that's still an idea, and I certainly may go that route, because I think it would be absolutely awesome. But I've got something in my mind that I might try and do, and I'm not sure I can pull it off. I'm not sure that my skill set is such that I can pull it off. But my thing has always been, I'm not a car builder. You know, I'm not a, I don't know how you're supposed to do this stuff, but all my life, when I've decided to do something, I never considered that I might not know how to do it. I just always figure that I can do it. I always figure I'll just figure it out when I get there, you know. And I'll figure it out along the way. And I figured that Dojelac, you know, I figured that out, and it turned out pretty good. And at Rockabilly, it turned out pretty good. And Rockabilly is the first thing I ever built like that, but from the ground up, frame and everything. But I never considered that I didn't know how to do it. I mean, I guess I know that. Subconsciously, I guess I know going in that I don't have a clue, but that don't even slow me down, you know. I just figure it out. And some things I do right, some things I do wrong, but most of the time it works out, you know. So this thing that I'm thinking about doing with the rear end of this thing, if I can pull it off, I don't know if I can. But if I can, it's about as far from a truck as you can get. So think on that for a while. Just think on that and see what you come up with. All right. It's all fun, guys. You know, remember, when you comment, don't take me or yourself too seriously, because I don't. We're just having fun here. All right. That's it for this one. Okay, fellers and fellerettes, that's going to do it for this one. But I really do thank you for stopping by, and I sure do appreciate you. We'll see you real soon right here on Whalen Wire's Old Iron.